Are we leaving, Eli? Are we going bye-bye? I'm Destiny.
And I'm Shane.
And we're a married couple.
With 2 children.
And we're in the process of creating a homestead. So why do we want to do a homestead?
Well, the hope is to become more self-sufficient and gain some life skills that we'll be able to pass down to our children and ultimately to our descendants.
And I think we want to have something to leave them when this whole thing is done. So this is going to be beyond just our kids, hopefully future kids, grandkids, and their grandkids. So why are we starting this? Because when we were growing up, we did all the things like going to college and getting careers, getting married.
Having kids, right? We did all of the things.
All of the societal norms. And what we found was that people who were kind of going down that path, they were unhappy.
And sick in more ways than one.
And we definitely didn't want to live like that. And so we decided to veer off the path and try something different.
So, after much talk and deliberation, we decided to uproot our family and move halfway across the country and search for a place to call home.
So, we're going to be documenting this journey and taking you guys along for the ride, because what we found is like when looking for what we're trying to accomplish, we always saw the after. So they already bought the thing or they already like found the house and were starting the homestead, but there was nothing that was like before.
Yes, and currently we are in the process of trying to accumulate everything that we need to begin this process and get where we want to be. So right now we're kind of starting from square one, and this will hopefully be us taking steps in the direction towards our ultimate goal.
Okay, so we decided that we wanted to move to East Tennessee a year ago, and we knew that our lease would be up in July 2024. So the goal was to be out and on some sort of land by then. Around March, we spoke to a loan officer in Tennessee who recommended that we apply in April. When April rolled around, we started getting prepared for the move before we even knew where we were going. I'm throwing them out.
All these clothes?
I'm giving them to Goodwill. All right, we are cleaning out our storage today, deciding what to keep and what to go to the trash. At the beginning of April, we actually got a tentative pre-approval to purchase land and build a home, and we were so excited, y'all. They told us that everything was good to go, and all we needed was a letter from our employer to confirm that we would have employment in Tennessee. So we requested that letter and continued on with preparation. All right, looks much better in here. We've got the cars packed with things to go to Goodwill, except for that. One more thing to go in the car. And let's see. It's full of goodies for somebody else. I hope you enjoy it as much as we did. After a few weeks of waiting for the letter, we realized that time was ticking, and the amount of time that we had to find land and build a house was incredibly limited. We trusted that God would get us to Tennessee and continued to prepare for the move without knowing where we would end up. By the end of April, we were still at a standstill, and I was beginning to feel a lot like my son. I'm so excited. We are officially moving to Tennessee. We're officially moving. We weren't able to get a house or land right away. it was such a headache that we finally decided, like, we had to sit down and basically decide what was most important to us. And getting to Tennessee was the most important thing. There are many reasons for that. We really kind of have to leave Connecticut. It's nothing like super serious, but just kind of with the lifestyle that we're trying to accomplish, we cannot do that in Connecticut. And we've been like preparing for this moment for so long that we just kind of sat down and decided, you know what, we want to be where we want to be now. And so we were able to find a short-term rental, just like an apartment, and we're going to be going there in pretty much a month. Like, yeah, in a couple of days, it'll be exactly 4 weeks. So we are in full move mode at this point. So there's stuff everywhere because I'm kind of going through some of our clothes and deciding what we need, because we're definitely going to have to put some stuff in storage until we can get into our house. The apartment is smaller than what we live in now, but we also made that decision because we didn't want to spend a lot of money when we know we're going to be buying a house. And it's so crazy because right now renting is more expensive than our mortgage would be. Like, the type of house that we're trying to get and the land and everything, we're really trying to lower our expenses as much as possible and really live off the land as much as possible. And going into a rental for even 6 months is really cutting into what we want to spend, but it was just the best way to get out of this state as soon as possible. So yeah, guys, we're moving in Tennessee.
So, once we had secured an apartment and had an official move date, we had exactly 4 weeks to move all of our belongings and 2 small children halfway across the country. It was safe to say we had our work cut out for us. Now, in case you never moved before or never moved to another state, let me tell you, there's a lot of work involved and a lot of moving parts. We needed to notify all the utilities on both ends, so that means shutting off electricity, gas, and water in Connecticut, as well as getting those same 3 utilities started in Tennessee. We needed to switch to a new internet service provider, do a formal change of address with the U.S. Post Office, and get new renters and car insurance policies. All that on top of finding a large enough moving truck to fit all of our things, our entire life, pretty much, and find a storage unit down in Tennessee that we would need, as our new apartment was a little bit smaller than the one we were moving from. And then on top of that, we had to ask our close friends and family if they would be able to help us move all of our stuff and our kids to our new apartment in Tennessee. Destiny and I have moved together twice before, once with just the 2 of us, and the second time with our young daughter. She was 2 at the time when we moved from Texas to Connecticut. But moving with 2 small children and all the random items that they seem to accumulate over the years is just awful. 1 out of 5 stars, would not recommend. In fact, I'm not sure how larger families do it. Maybe they use moving companies, and maybe that's the route we'll have to go next time. But for now, this is what we had to work with.
All right, so the smartest thing that we could do was to find these vacuum seal bags, because they're so convenient. Like, these are pretty much all of our clothes that we own as the adults in the family anyway. I'm pretty happy with them, and they were only like 20 bucks. Can't complain. And then we got these bags as well, which I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but right now it's seeming like I like these bags. Again, got them on Amazon. Okay, so I just added this section because packing and unpacking really was a breeze with this setup. So if you're watching this and thinking about it, I definitely support it. Okay, so while doing all of the move prep, life was still going on. June was really, really packed. We had dance recitals, a wedding anniversary, a graduation, and I was completing the last weeks of school. We had birthday parties and farewell gatherings, and somehow Shane managed to drive my car to Tennessee, fly back home, and drive back down with the rest of our stuff in a truck all in the same week. By the time we got to the move day, I was completely exhausted. It's moving day, and I'm exhausted. completely exhausted. My back hurts. I feel like I can no longer move, but everything is out of the house except for this stuff. Waiting for my mom to get her car over here to put the last of it, and Shane and his friend are getting ready to leave with the truck. Shane and his friend drove the truck down on Saturday afternoon, and the kids and I stayed with my mom for Saturday night, and then we flew down with my mom on Sunday afternoon. Shane had a 13-hour drive, and with Elias still not sleeping through the night, neither of us got any sleep between Saturday and Monday. And just because I can't help myself, if you were considering flying out of Tweed, New Haven Airport, just don't do it. The flight itself wasn't bad. It was everything around the flight that was pretty awful. And on a normal day, when you're just traveling as an adult, maybe it's fine. But traveling with a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old was absolutely awful. So close to being done. We're at the final stop, storage. The move was definitely chaotic, and it didn't really help that we had to divide and conquer in order to get it all done. So when we dropped the rental truck off and got into one car together to drive back to our new home, it set in. We actually did it. For now, we're going to get some much needed rest and enjoy our time as a family, exploring the natural beauty that is all around us. Over the next few months, we plan to explore different areas and decide on where we will put our stake in the ground and build our forever home in the great state of Tennessee.